Hi everybody, my name is Liz.
And I'm James.
And welcome to our fourth episode of our Facebook Live. I can't believe it's already been 4 episodes, and I'm super excited because you're continuing to meet more and more of your Rent Reporters team. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, James, and what it is that you do here?
Sure. So I'm a credit specialist here at Rent Reporters, and you know what? I'm actually typically here, a little bit after hours, after 5 or so. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to call us or hit me up on live chat, and you'll probably be talking to me. Previously, your largest monthly expense has had no impact on your credit score, and Rent Reporters is changing the game by adding a positive trade line that reflects those on-time payments. So be sure to share this video with family and friends. Comment, like, and ask any questions below, and be sure to use the hashtag #BoostCredit
on Twitter. So like we said, today's topic is all about the difference between what credit repair is and what Rent Reporters is. So we're 2 distinct things. So the first thing that we're going to get into is credit repair. We really want to try to understand what credit repair is, how it works, and then we're going to talk about the same thing about who we are as Rent Reporters, what we do, and kind of get you to understand the fundamental difference between the 2 types of companies that we are. So a lot of people have the question, like, what is credit repair? So before we get into credit repair agencies, it's important for us to understand what credit repair is in general. So what it is, it's the process of removing any inaccurate, unverifiable, and untimely accounts from your personal credit report. And what you can do is it's actually a dispute filed to remove a trade line that legally shouldn't be there in the first place. And there's 3 main outcomes that you get from credit repair. And the first is that it's verified with no change, meaning you weren't able to get any change applied to your account. The second is that it's called new information below, which means that it's verified, but we changed some of the information. Or 3, it ultimately got deleted.
So how credit repair works? There are several laws that are put in place to protect you, the consumer, from inaccurate information being put on your credit report. Believe it or not, but there was a time in history, around the 70s, when credit reporting agencies were switching from in-house data to computer format, and they would collect any information on you without verifying if it was accurate. And here are some of them. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act, the Fair Debit Collections Practices Act, and the Fair Credit Building Act. And notice how all of them have the word fair in it.
Because we want to make sure that you, the consumer, are being treated fairly. So the main one that we are going to talk about today is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And it says 3 things, is that all information must be 100% accurate, meaning that every account on your credit report has all the aspects of each trade line reported accurately, and that it must be 100% verifiable, meaning that if your data is not verified, it has to be removed, and that it has to be 100% timely. If any of these things don't occur, without all this information being 100% accurate, it cannot legally be on your credit report. So now we're going to get into accuracy. So accuracy, when we talk about accuracy, we're talking about all the different aspects that are on your credit report. We hope to soon have a Facebook Live segment where we talk all about how to read a credit report. And there's all these different aspects for every trade line. And the main ones are like the account name, the account number, the credit limit, the highest amount borrowed, your current balance, account status, date open, date of last active, and the date of last payment is another really important one. Without all these factors are compiled onto your credit report, and if any one of these things are inaccurate, it can make the difference between 100 or more points on your credit report.
So about 1 in 5 consumers actually has an error on their credit report from one of the 3 major credit bureaus. And typically 20% of consumers who have identified errors have experienced an increase in their credit score. So ways to check for accuracy would be to pull your credit report and check all 3 credit bureaus. You'll want to get some credit monitoring with all 3 bureaus, and just keep in mind that if all of the information is accurate, then all 3 bureaus are going to have the exact same information. Not only can an inaccuracy negatively affect your score, but the only way to correct these inaccuracies is to file a dispute. And no one else watches this for you. The credit reporting agency won't, the creditor won't, it's really up to you.
The next is it needs to be 100% verifiable. So just like our modern day judicial system is that it's the court's job to prove that you're innocent until they prove that you are guilty. The same thing happens here. It needs to be 100% verifiable. If a creditor cannot prove that all the information is 100% accurate in each one of those aspects of your trade line, then it has to be deleted. And this is why we as when we're collecting all our information for rent reporters, we spend a significant amount of time verifying all your information before we can upload it to TransUnion.
So I'm going to just talk about what it means to be timely. There's actually a statute of limitations on how long a creditor can legally collect on the debt, and this varies by state and type of loan. As Liz and Melinda had mentioned last week, once you have one bad derogatory remark on your credit report, you have bad luck for 7 years. And in fact, it can actually be 7 to 10 years. Now, so you're asking, well, okay, so 7 years from what? Well, it's actually the date of last activity, and the clock begins on the last time you paid a bill. So for example, if you last paid a bill in January 2010, then the date of last activity will remain on your credit report until January 2017. Now, the issue with the date of last activity is that it's never shown unless you actually file a dispute. So unless you know exactly when you paid the bill, however many years ago it was, you won't know when the date was unless you file a dispute. Now, if you had an account in collections, and let's just say it's been 5 years, and you decided, okay, I'm going to wait the 7 years for it to fall off. Somewhere in the middle of that, though, you decide, well, I'm going to pay off the debt, to get it, to pay off all the debt because I don't want to have any debts. So, but what ends up happening here is that you're actually going to reset the date of last activity. So if you had an account in collections, it's been 5 years, and you pay it today, then that account in collections actually remains on your credit report for 7 more years.
Great. So now that we talked about this act, we learned that it has to be 100% accurate, verifiable, and timely. So this is how these credit repair agencies, this is how they use these federal laws to remove aspects from your credit report. So there's 2 ways that you can file a dispute. You can hire a professional and work with these credit repair agencies, or you can even do it yourself as a consumer. So you have the choice of picking one or the other. The benefits of hiring or going through a credit reporting agency is that you truly are hiring a professional. Their knowledge of all of these consumer laws, like we just went over the Free Credit Reporting Act, but remember, as James said earlier, there's other federal acts put in place to protect you. So they will know all of these laws and they can try to get these taken off. But the trade-off is that they're actually fairly expensive. I was looking at a couple websites from the most popular sites, and I seen an average about $100 for sign up and about $100 to maintain it month to month. So it can be really expensive. Or you can try to do this independently. You don't need to hire a professional or go through a credit repair agency to do credit repair. But the downfall for doing it independently is that it's going to take a lot of time. As we talk about the aspects of it being 100% accurately, we can actually only dispute one aspect of our trade line at a time. So if I want to dispute my credit limit, I have to do that first. and then I can move on to another. It's very rare that the first time you file a dispute that you're gonna get it removed from your account. It often takes 2 to 3 tries and challenging or disputing different aspects of that. And not only that, you have to file with each one of the bureaus independently. So I have to file with TransUnion. I have to go through the same process with Experian and Equifax. So it can be really timely. So that's the only that's a benefit of hiring a professional, is that they're going to do all the work for you, but you outweigh it at the expense of it.
So if you do decide to hire a professional, just watch out for a few things. Watch out for any companies that insist that you pay them first before they'll do any work for you. Any companies that tell you not to contact the credit reporting companies directly, or even tell you to provide false information. Beware of any companies that are promising you a new credit identity. So let me tell you right now that no such thing exists. What they'll do is, they'll provide you with a credit profile number, or they'll ask you to apply for an employer identification number, but neither of these are a substitute for your social security number. Credit repair companies must explain your legal rights in written consent with the services that they'll perform. You have a 3-day right to cancel without any charge, and you'll want to make sure that you'll discuss with how long it'll take to get results, the total cost that you'll pay, and you'll find out if they make any guarantees, and make sure you follow through with them. Should you run into any credit repair fraud, you'll want to reach out to your state attorneys general, the local consumer affairs office, or the Federal Trade Commission.
So we want you to take away some key summaries from when we talk about credit repair and some of these credit repair agencies, is that there are laws put in place to protect you, the consumer, because we want to make sure that all your information is accurate. Like James said in the beginning, a lot around the 70s, when all this information was being translated over into the computer system, there was a lot of errors happening in people's trade or credit report. So we want to make sure that all our information is accurate, and we're going to be the only people that are able to do that. So they put these laws here to protect us, because as we're going through this series, we're learning more and more about the higher your credit score is, the better chance you're going to have at lower interest rates and at the availability of getting credit. So the lower your interest rates are, we learned that it's $100 worth of savings. And also filing a dispute, it's important, because as we have these negative marks on our credit report, no matter how much good we continue to do to our credit, it's not going to make any difference on a report if we still have these negative marks. It's actually about an average difference of 100 points. So when accuracies occur on your credit report, your rights are being violated, and this affects your ability to get financing from anywhere to 7 to 10 years.
So next we're going to talk about, about who we are and what we do. So
previously, like James said, we're going to talk about Rent Reporters, and James so beautifully and Melinda talked about it last week about how Rent Reporters is different. So previously, your largest monthly expense, some cases it can be anywhere from $1,000 to some people $5,000, has had no impact on your credit score. And Rent Reporters decided that it was trying to change the game by adding that positive trade line that reflects those on-time payments, because it's a huge payment. And we're going to talk about the process of how to sign up for our service. So there's 2 ways that you can sign up for our service, and that is you can call in to our landline, and our wonderful receptionist Jennifer is going to put you through our credit specialist that you've already met, so you can be on the phone with James or Demetrio, Jason, Melinda, and all these other credit specialists that you haven't had the opportunity to meet, and some that you have and you see their face. So you can hop on the phone and you know that you're working with a familiar face. Or you can just go straight to our website at rentreporters.com, and it's a very easy sign-up process, and it walks you through very direct questions. There's no confusion about any information on there, so feel free to just go through the process and sign up, and you find yourself at any point not understanding what to do, or if you're having any trouble, you can just give us a call. We are one call away and we can answer any of the questions that you have.
So what happens after you sign up? Well, we're going to take the information that you've provided and we have to verify it, because we have to check that it is 100% accurate and it has to be 100% verifiable. So we're going to, verify your rental details, look into the information that you've provided for your landlord. And, we typically spend about a week, verifying everything. And then once everything has been verified, it takes about a week for the trade line to post with TransUnion. And
so James says a week, and that's great. That's an ideal world. So we can get this job done for you in about at most 5 days. All the moving pieces work great. So your first step and your number one priority when signing up for our service, if you want the best possible service, we need you to do one thing for us, and that is talk to your landlord. It's a simple call when you hand in that rental payment on the first of the month, or whenever you turn it in, and tell them like, hey, James, if James is my landlord, I signed up for a service, Rent Reporters, and what they're going to do for me is they're going to help me build my credit with the money that I'm already doing. You don't have to do anything for me except they're going to call you and ask you a couple questions. I consent for you to release my information to them, but they are going to call you on a monthly basis. If you don't want to be called, you can tell them like, hey, email me, or we can do it online. So I just need you to be on board. Can you help me improve my credit life?
Yes, absolutely. Let's
Great.
do this.
And so that's the only conversation that you need to have with your landlord to make this process go smoother. It makes the sign-up process go smoother, and it makes reporting each one of your monthly payments from there on out very smooth. So that is our number one obstacle sometimes, is getting landlords on board, and it takes one simple call from you to talk to them to get them on board. And so once it's, so we're going to go back to James's idea of once we send all this information to TransUnion, why don't you tell them about the email that they get and what they should do next?
Oh, well, so what'll happen is once everything has, been uploaded, you'll actually receive an email from us, telling you that, your trade line has posted. So all you need to do is, check your credit score and make sure that, our trade line is listed on your credit report. And then we'll
yeah, so
sorry.
No, it's okay. So you can go and check that information over at one of the easiest sites to go to is Credit Karma. They provide free reports for you. Do me a favor and go back really quickly, Melinda. Yeah, that's important because we want to see what that score is first, and then if we've made any impact on your credit report. And so one thing that's important is that as we talk about this idea of any discrepancies in your report, like you've seen here earlier, having something like going into debt collections or going into bankruptcy, we earn 7 years of bad luck. So if we have some of those derogatory marks on our trade line, we might not see the jump in score that we would like, and that's just in general by having a negative mark on your account. No matter how much good you apply to your report, I can pay my car payment on time, I can pay my rental payments on time, I can pay all my credit cards on time, keep my utilization low, all of those factors that we previously talked about, but just having that one credit card that put me into collection can actually hold me back 100 points. So if you feel like you're in that boat, yes, we're going to be able to help you, but sometimes looking into getting that trade line removed might be the most beneficial thing for you. Yeah, you can. Next slide.
So, as mentioned before, so RentReporters is a really unique service that adds a trade line to your credit report, to positively impact your credit score. Rent reporting actually can't be done by yourself. You can't just add a trade line to your report, whereas, credit repair can be done by yourself, or you can hire a professional. We don't dispute any inaccuracies or remove any items from your credit report. All we're doing is confirming, verifying all of your information and adding your positive rent history onto your trade line.
So as you can see, really the difference between the two companies or the two distinct business models is that Credit Repair is a business that corrects errors and inaccuracy on your credit report, because these are your rights as a consumer, and creditors and the credit reporting agencies need to be on board, but you have to monitor it. They're not going to do it for you. And they can, or they hope to, delete any of those negative marks or from existing trade lines. And it can be a business for hire, or it can be done independently. Whereas Rent Reporters, we're taking a payment that you're already making monthly. So it's really innovative. And what we're doing is we're adding that positive trade line by reporting it to TransUnion, and we hope to see a positive score increase. So those are really the two distinct differences between a credit repair agency and what Rent Reporters does. So now we're going to open up the floor to see if there are any questions throughout. Oh yeah, and let's make sure that we share this video, we like it, and comment any questions. Even if you don't catch us on this live segment, you can comment down below, and we'll be able to answer your questions anytime throughout the week, or even if you're watching this a month from now. Just because you're not catching us live doesn't mean that we're not going to answer your questions, or you can even call us. But share this video. Like we continue to talk about, credit education is very important to your credit life. Understanding it can be difficult, so share the gift of knowledge to a family or a friend, even people around you. So do we have questions right now?
Yes, we do. Darren, he would like to know, what are some common inaccuracies that would show up on a report that we should keep an eye out for?
Ooh, good question. Okay, can I take this one? And that is, so if a trade line actually shows that your credit limit is lower than what it should be. So let's say I get approved for a credit line that's $1,000, but they only show $500 that's available for me. I mean, that's a huge difference and a huge discrepancy, but we're going to just use this for the example. What that affects is it's actually showing that my credit limit is lower than it should be, which then consequently, it's like a domino effect. It ends up affecting your utilization. So if you're only using $100 of that open trade line, then you are only using 10%. But what that's going to show is you're actually using 20% if that inaccuracy is off. So that's one of the main ones that you really want to look out for. Another one is the date of last payment. You really want to try to get on board and figure out what that is. But I would say the number one aspect that you want to look out for is that credit limit.
And Beth wants to know, once someone gets a better credit score, will you help us learn how to manage our finances?
Well,
we can do that. I mean, that's everything that we're doing here. I mean, this is just one of our many outlets for credit education. We open up these series of Facebook Lives that we have. We have our tips and tricks for you. We also have our ebooks that you can download. And in fact, you can download a free ebook from after watching this video. We'll list it in the comments for you. So we have ebooks. We have our blog on our website, which also goes out. Once you're a member of our service, you'll even get monthly blog notices in your email that is going to continue to educate you throughout this. So it's not just a series. This is just one of the many credit education that we do aside from our regular work.
That's about it.
Okay, that's it for now. So those are some of the two questions that we have. Like again, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them. We know that some of these two things can be confusing, but I hope we really translated the message that there are two different aspects of your credit score. We're not, like, there's no way that we're really overlapping. So ask any questions that you have down below, and we hope to see you soon. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.